Raised on songs and stories, heroes of renown, the passing tales and glories that once was Dublin town. The hallowed halls and houses, the haunting children's rhymes, that once was Dublin city in the rare old times. Ring a ring a rosy, as the light declines, I remember Dublin city in the rare old times. My name it is Sean Dempsey, as Dublin as can be, born hard and laid in Pimlico, in a house that ceased to be. By trade I was a cooper, lost out to redundancy, like my house that fell to progress, my trade's a memory. I courted Peggy Dignan, as pretty as you please, a rogan child of Mary, from the rebel liberties. I lost her to a student chap, with skin as black as coal, when he took her off to Birmingham, she took away my soul. Ring a rosy, as the light declines, I remember Dublin city in the rare old times. Oh, the years have made me bitter, the gargles dimmed me brain, 'cause Dublin keeps on changing, nothing stays the same. The pillar and the met have gone, the royal long since pulled down, as that grey unyielding concrete makes a city of my town. Fare thee well, sweet Anna Liffey, I can no longer stay and watch the new glass cages spring up along the quay. Me mind's too full of memories, too old to hear your chimes. I'm a part of what was Dublin in the rare old times. Ring a rosy, as the light declines, I remember Dublin city in the rare old times.
I'm a shy red-haired woman called Brigid McCann, and for years I've been wanting to marry a man. I don't care if he's fat, if he's tall or he's slight, I just want to keep warm of a cold winter's night. Sorry. Of a cold winter's night. I'm sick. And forlorn, my bloomers are old, and my petticoats torn. Feed the hens, feed the pig, put the old cow in the shed. Sure, all that I want is an old man in bed. I've chased him at hoolies, at dances and fairs. I've travelled through Carrig, through Limerick and Clare. I'm afraid I will burst or go queer in the head if I don't find some old man to warm up me bed. And a fine black-haired tinker came calling one day, a fine-looking man with a swaggering way. I'd spread 2 pounds of powder all over my dial, and I bade him sit down and to rest for a while. You're a no man, says he, sure I must cut along. You're a nonsense, says I, sure the night is still young. There's a fine feather bed away up in the room, and the older the fiddle, the sweeter the tune. I knew he was game when I stripped by the fire. His old eyes, they were crazy with love and desire. When I got to me bloomers, he let out a roar. He jumped through the window, I saw him no more. Now all you young women who are cosy at night, keep your hand on your man when you snuggle up tight. Keep him happy and satisfied, warm and fed. Sure I'd swap me red bloomers for an old man in bed.
Good man, John.
Cold and stormy winter's night, as the snow lay on the ground, a sailor boy stood on the quay, his ship was outward bound. His true love was standing by his side, shed many's the bitter tear, and as he pressed her to his heart, he whispered in her ear, farewell, farewell, my own true love. This parting gives me pain. You'll be my own true guiding star until I return again. My thoughts will be on you, my love, when storms are raging high. So farewell, love, remember me, your faithful sailor boy. 'Twas in a gale the ship set sail, the lass was standing by. She watched that vessel out of sight, and the tears stood in her eyes. She prayed to him in heaven above to guide him on his way, and the parting words from her own true love did echo o'er the bay. Farewell, farewell, my own true love. This parting gives me pain. You'll be my own true guiding star until I return again. My thoughts will be on you, my love, while storms are raging high. So farewell, love, remember me, your faithful sailor boy. The ship returned, but sad to say, without her sailor boy. He died at sea while on his way, and the flag will half-mast high. And when his comrades came ashore and told her he was dead, and in a letter that he wrote, the last line sadly said, "Farewell, farewell, my own true love, on earth we'll meet no more, perhaps we'll meet in heaven above, on that bright and happy shore. Perhaps we'll meet in that fair land, the land beyond the sky, where you never will be parted from your faithful sailor boy."
I'll do only a dying crow. Patrick Archer. "Sure, it's only a dying bird," he said as he pointed to where it lay, "shot shattered and torn with wings outspread on the rough brown, fresh ploughed clay. Sure, there's no need to be sad because a wounded bird has fluttered down here to die. But a sorrowful look clouds the old man's eye as he huskily makes reply. Yes, 'tis only one that you've shot me, boy, of a thieving tribe as you say. But that fluttering fall that to you gave joy lies sore on me heart today. For that wounded bird is the link of a chain that binds me to times long past, and I grieve to see his red lifeblood drain, and thou wings hushed at last. Aye, it is many a year has since gone by, since once on a March morn bright, I riz the fearings and the hunkings cash, and whistled in spirits light. And close on me heels came them noisy birds picking worms from the rough brown clay, as I ploughed up the sod in close straight rows in the very field where we're standing today. And one foolish bird, I suppose he was young, got wedged in a slow fallen sod, and the echoes around with his frightened cries rung as he struggled in under the clod. But his horse corn stopped as I came to his aid, and he ceased in his struggle and strife. Thinks I, the poor creature is sorely afraid I'm coming to rob him of life. But he looked in me eye with a confident grin as I lifted the sod where he lay, and his hoarse voice was glad as he sailed up on high. Thank you kindly, his cause seemed to say. And I'd easily know him again, I said, as he sailed in the clear air away, for though black was his body from tip tail to head, his wings wore a whitish grey. And ever since that March morn, long years ago, he looked upon me as his friend, and I thought him to be a decent good crow that never to meanness would bend. And when in the fields for miles all around, the ploughs turned up stubble or lay, to follow my plough he thought himself bound, so he hopped after me every day. And so we came to be comrades in toil in the fields where our daily work lay. And we gather our living from out the same soil through many a long weary day. And I learned a lot from that curious old bird, ever since the morning that me hand set him free. And he studied too, as I've reason to know, for he found out a lot about me. I mind when I walked at my gate down yon lane, old grey wings sat perched on that high elm bough, looking knowingly down at us twain. And when I was happy with her as me bride, he joyously cawed from on high, as we wandered together in love side by side, in the summer eves long since gone by. And our sunny-haired boy, heaven rest him, I pray, who grew up so clean, strong and tall. I mind when he came to the field one warm day with hay, with tea to the haymaker's all. And he wandered away to the old tree there below to stretch his young limbs in the shade. On a bough o'er his head sat the old grey-winged crow, looking solemn and sober and staid. And the cunning old fellas soon saw that my boy was munching some fresh griddle bread. So he dropped from his perch with a loud caw of joy and hopped on the ground without dread. And my boy laughed with glee as he threw the sweet crumbs to the old crow hopping round where he lay. Ah, that picture full oft to me sore heart comes, and I feel how's I'm lonesome today. My vocaline born. She heard how he fell in the land o'er the sea far away, when Ireland's sons faced the fierce shot and shell in Fredericksburg's terrible day. They told me he charged as he rushed long ago when he hurled on his own native plain. But he fell near the guns, with his face to the foe, in the land far o'er the main. And the mother, God rest her soul, sure the news broke her heart. They say trouble comes not alone, for death that spares none rudely pushed us apart and claimed my love as his own. Let who will explain it, but I'd swear that that bird wept with me in me sorrowing days, for he moped round the place with his head hanging low, and mournful and sad were his ways. It's all over now. My old friend's going fast. His rough bake is crimson with gore. His hoarse voice is hushed. His last flight is past. He'll sail o'er the green fields no more. The brown earth is soaking his red ebon blood. The cunning owl eyes are growing dim. His last look reproving seems saying, I should have watched with better care over him. So now, boy, you know why I'm sorry today, although it's only a now dying crow. Can you wonder, inside, when they're dead on the clay, is me comrade a long years ago? And I shame not to grieve o'er the sad bloody fate of me feathered friend, faithful and true. The last link has snapped, and I've not long to wait till I sleep the cow lonesome sleep too.
Since upon the loving mother just 63, with sad tearful eyes looking far o'er the lea, and her limbs spun to murmur, come back lad to me. Each night to the window in silence she strays, placing her lamp with its glittering rays, intended for one who will never return. Though brightly the light in the window still burns, there's a light in the window burns brightly for thee. There's a bold sailor lad who has long gone to sea. Silence and absence makes mother's heart yearn, though brightly the light in the window still burns. There's a light in the window in storm and in calm, and 'twas never extinguished till one bright early morn a stranger who chanced to be passing that way, discovered a light burning brightly one day. Then he came to the window and looked through the pane. He tapped at the door, yet no answer there came. The patient was dead, but the light brightly shone, for it still kept on burning for that one far from home. There's a light in the window, burns brightly for thee. There's a bold sailor lad who has long gone to sea. Silence and absence makes mother's heart yearn, though brightly the light in the window still burns.
Okay.
Ennis, Carthy, John Coakley, take a fond farewell. Green Hill, old Slaney, sparrows. Oh, wait a get the words.
Right, take it.
You know the words of
Waiting on him patiently.
Right, pass on, John. I can't do that.
Come back.
Oh, you're passing through Murrintown on a bright summer's day. See a group of young fellows working hard in the clay. If you ask what they're doing, they will gladly reply, sure, we're working for the council on the water supply. I know an old farmer not too far away. He can now take his bath at the end of the day. He can dress up at night in his collar and tie. Oh, he's thankful to God for the water supply. Or the lady going dancing, that's her delight. She can now take her bath.
Saturday night.
Yeah, in the wrong corner there. It's supposed to.
Listen to these women.
Have you resigned, Bernie?
Yeah. Take to the top again, Bernie.
It's supposed to the parish, the old people say. Sure is good for the kidneys. I'm to hang on.
Start it all off again, Bernie. Start it off at the beginning. Go back to morning.
So if they started in Carrig, it might work better.
Oh, you're passing through Murrintown on a bright summer's day. See a group of young fellows working hard in the clay. If you ask what they're doing, they will gladly reply, sure, we're working for the council on the water supply. I know an old farmer not too far away. He can now take his bath at the end of the day. He can dress up at nights in his collar and tie. Oh, he's thankful to God for the water supply. For the lady going dancing, the bath's her desire.
She can now take her bath on the Saturday night. Huh?
It's supposed to the parish, the old people say. Sure is good for the kidneys and it makes better tea. There's a spring in their step and a gleam in their eye, and they talk about nothing but the water supply. If you're here on a visit and your tummy feels queer, sure it might be that you have consumed too much beer. But there's no need to panic to the wee spot close by. There's an inside convenience and a water supply. Stagger into the bathroom, take a seat on the pot. No need for a penny to go in the slot. Get rid of your troubles and bid them goodbye. I flush them away with the water supply. Oh, but how did our forefathers manage it all? They went out in all weathers to answer the call. Sat on their hunkers and gazed at the sky. Far from their thoughts was the water supply. But those were the days when our forefathers knew, when hardships were plenty and pleasures were few, when the thistle and nettle caused many a sigh, for they did not have toilets or a water supply. The old horse with the handle, 'tis now an antique, but the tales it could tell if it only could speak. Kept under the bed, till a crisis was nigh. It's redundant, replaced by the water supply. All the Yanks and the Russians, they've been to the moon. I believe they'll be running excursions there soon. But won't it be awkward up there in the sky if they haven't got toilets or a water supply?
Down where I was born, there was a fair maid dwelling, made every youth try well a day. Her name was Barbara Allen. 'Twas early in the month of May, when the green buds they were swelling. Young Jimmy Grove on his deathbed lay, for love of Barbara Allen. He sent his servant to the town, where Barbara was a dwelling. My master is sick, and he sent for you. Your name be Barbara Allen. And slowly, slowly she came down, and slowly she came nigh him. And all she said when she got there, young man, I think you're dying. He said, I'm sick and very sick, and death is on me dwelling. No better, better will I be, if I can't have Barbara Allen. She said, you're sick and very sick, but though death be on you dwelling, no better, better will you be, you won't have Barbara Allen. As she was on her highway home, the birds they kept on singing. They sang so clear they seemed to say, ah, cruel Barbara Allen. And slowly, slowly she came on, till she spied his coffin coming. Lay down that corpse of clay, that I may look upon him. The more she looked, the more she moaned, till she fell to the ground a-crying, oh, lift me up and carry me home, for I am now a-dying. Oh, Father, go dig my grave, go dig it long and narrow. Young Jimmy died for me today, I'll die for him tomorrow. She was buried in the old churchyard, and he was buried nigh her. On Barbara's grave grew a red, red rose, on Jimmy's grave a briar. They grew to the top of the old church wall, till they could grow no higher. They rose and they twined in a true lover's knot, and the rose grew round the briar.
Exactly. What in Bannow do what the Bannow people do. I'll try Bannow on the show. All right. Lovely. Banno's lonely banks farewell, where once
I used to stray to view the crops of smaller size glide sweetly o'er the bay. The birds along that lonely beach their sweetest notes did pour, that echoed to the silent woods round Bannow's lonely shore. The boys with whom I used to play while sporting on the green, their smiling faces I behold, the seas roll wide between. Their youthful joys I still retain, though sadly I deplore when I cast back my wandering eyes to Bannow's lonely shore. The village schoolhouse on the hill, it still appears in view, and it stands as clear and beautiful as when first I bade adieu. Those happy days are past and gone, perhaps to come no more. Yet fondly still my heart do cling to Bannow's lonely shore. When on my pillow I recline in a foreign land to rest, the love for Bannow's bright blue banks still throbs within my breast. As silent sleep it steals o'er me, I dream I see once more those rocky cliffs that close abound round Bannow's lonely shore. Now with those few lines I'll now conclude and bid a long farewell. May heaven's beams shine bright on all who on those banks do dwell. May happiness forever reign, and choicest blessings pour. Where first I drew the breath of life, round Bannow's lonely shore.
Curlew stood silent and unseen in the long damp grass, and as he looked down on the road below him that wound its way through Bale na Blah, he heard the young men shouting and cursing, running backwards and forwards, ducking and weaving and dodging the bullets that rained down on him from the hillside opposite. As suddenly as it started, the firing stopped, and a lone figure lay by the roadside in the drizzling August rain. Dressed in green greatcoat, leggings, and brown hobnail boots that would never again set the sparks flying from the kitchen flagstones as he danced his way through a half set. A hurried whispered act of contrition, and the firing breaks out again. The curlew takes to flight, and as he flies out over the empty, sad fields of West Cork, with his lonesome cry, he must tell the world that the big fella has fallen, and that Michael has gone. on a far off August day. Cold young men in ambush lay on a roadside by a hill where flowers grow. So much hate for one so young. Who was right or who was wrong? Though 1,000 years may pass, we'll never know. Candles dripping blood, they place beside his shoulders. Rosary beads like teardrops on your fingers. Friends and comrades standing by, in their grief they wonder why. Michael, in their hour of need, you had to go. And through evening's twilight gleams, softly fell the autumn rain. But you lay still and silent on the ground, as we hung our heads in prayer, in our sorrow and despair. We wondered, was it friend or foe shot you down? Candles dripping blood, they place beside your shoulders. Rosary beads like teardrops on your fingers. Friends and comrades standing by, in their grief they wonder why. Michael, in their hour of need, you had to go. Now that flame that you held high, when you called out to the sky to end the senseless killings and the shame, has now passed to other hands and is carried through this land by some not fit to even speak your name. Candles dripping blood, they place beside your shoulders. Rosary beads like teardrops on your fingers. Friends and comrades standing by, in their grief they wonder why. Michael, in their hour of need, you had to go. Michael, in their hour of need, why did you go? Born, raised in Boston, a place you all know well, brought up by honest parents, the truth to you I'll tell. Brought up by honest parents and raised most tenderly, till I became a sporting lad at the age of 23. My character was taken and I was sent to jail. My friends, they came and tried in vain to get me out on bail. Now the jury found me guilty and the clerk, he wrote it down. The judge, he passed the sentence. I was bound for Charlottetown. They placed me on an eastbound train one cold December day. And every station we passed through, you could hear the people say, there goes the Boston burglar, and poaching he is bound. For one crime or another, he is bound for Charlottetown. All you that have your freedom, take warning if you can. And don't go round the streets at night, breaking laws of God and man. For if you do, you're sure to rue and find yourself like me, serving up for 20 years in a penitentiary.
For fame and for fortune, I've wandered the earth, but now I've returned to the land of my birth. I brought back my treasure, but only to find they're less than the pleasures I first left behind. For these are my mountains, and this is my land, the days of my childhood, I see them again. No land ever came to me, so far did I roam, for these are my mountains, and I'm going home. The lake by the road sings at my going by, the lark overhead wings a welcoming cry. The lake where the trout lie, once more I will see. It's there that my heart lies, it's there I must be. For these are my mountains, and this is my land, the days of my childhood, I see them again. No land ever shamed me, so far did I roam, for these are my mountains, and I'm going home. Kind faces will meet me and welcome me in, and all they'll greet me back home again. This night round the fireside, all songs will be sung. At last I'll be hearing my own mother's tongue. For these are my mountains, and this is my land, the days of my childhood,
have to change my state. When what comes putting past the road, with many a joust and jar, but a little piebald pony and an inside car. One look, I'm gonna be high. One look I gave the pony, and one look I gave the wheel. Then glancing up my heart began to dancing jigs and reels. For there before my own two eyes, 3 little girls from Scar were out driving round the country in their inside car. The eldest girl was steering, right pleasant was her face. For next there sat her sister, and she smoothed. And of course I had to coax the teeth from playing them a trick. But they all felt very grateful, but the sweetest smile by far came from my little Colleen in that inside car. That shoes to that same pony, I was asking for a roll. When he backed the car all full of girls, right straight across my toes. But who could think of paying a rate and look at Molly Mar, and she talking all consoling in that inside car. Now I had a crooked sixpence for the driver's pleasant face, and I'd split a golden guinea for her sister with the lace. But I'd robbed the Bank of Wexford or the silver mine at Scar, just to drive the Rose of Ireland in her inside car.
Bit of harder.
I see the muddy cabin, he danced his wild jigs in, as neat a muddy cabin as ever was seen, considering 'twas used to keep poultry and pigs in. I'm sure it was always kept tidy and clean, but now all around it is cold, sad and dreary, all sad and all silent, no piper, no reel, not even the sun through the casement shine clearly, since I lost my own darling boy, Teddy O'Neill. I dreamt but last night, oh bad cess to my dreaming, I'd die if I thought it would e'er come to pass. I dreamt whilst the tears down my pale cheeks were streaming, that Teddy was courting another fair lass. But didn't I awake with the weeping and wailing? The pain of that dream was too much to conceal. Mother cried, "Not a child, what is your ailing?" But all I could answer was, never forget when the big ship was ready. The moment had come for my love to depart. How I cried like a spalpeen and said goodbye, Teddy, with a tear in my eye and a stone at my heart. But he said 'twas the better his fortune he'd wander. But what could be gold to the joy I should feel if you'd only come back to me honest and loving? For still my own darling Teddy, only you.
No, that's wrong.
Three cheers, me boys, for Bannow's banks, it's the place that I love best. And likewise you for Ballygow, I'm now bound for the Wells. As I went down to Collinstown to bid my last farewell, it was there I spied the prettiest girl that e'er your eyes beheld. As I went down to Collinstown, it was in the month of May, to roam for recreation and to watch the ladies gay. 'Twas there I spied the prettiest girl, and she's standing on the brow. Her beauty bright did me delight that day in Ballygow. I said, my fair young maiden, I pray you to me tell, is it on Bannow's lonely banks your parents they do dwell? Or if you are a stranger here today, I wish to know, for the killing glances of your eyes have proved my overthrow. Oh no, 'tis not on Bannow's banks my parents they do dwell, nor either in Duncormac or yet in Gibberwell. For I came here from sweet Kilmore, kind sir, you know it now. I'm here today a servant, said the maid from Ballygow. Now since you are a servant here, you must come along with me. For I do wish with all my heart that you will marry me. No more I'll roam from Bannow's banks where the tides do ebb and flow, or across the stormy ocean where the wintry winds do blow. Although I am a servant here, your offer I decline. For you'll sail the stormy ocean and you'll waver with the wind. And when you meet with pretty maids, to them you'll swear and vow. Then you leave them there to mourn, said the maid from Ballygow. So fare thee well, fair Bannow's banks, where dwells that comely maid, where oft times I had courted her down in yon fragrant shades. I pressed her to my bosom and I kissed her burning brow. But I am on the ocean wide and she's in Ballygow. My home
one fine sunny day. So we kissed and embraced in the town of Galway. Oh, beautiful Galway, with your old fisher's quay, where the waters are cold flows down to the sea. Blow gently sweet breezes and down by the bay, and carry me back to the town of Galway. At Ould where I first took her hand, and I thought I'd meet her on some foreign land, where she held me closely, and I heard her say, I remember you, dear, and the town of Galway. Oh, beautiful Galway, with your old fisher's quay, where the waters of coral flow down to the sea. Blow gently sweet breezes and down by the bay, and carry me back to the town of Galway, and carry me back to the town of Galway.
Early fall in the spring, when all the farmers they were harrowing in, I bought a Massey 65 with multi-power and live drive. I went out for hire with the morning light, but my brand new tractor she gave me a price. That high-speed gearbox was my downfall. Sure, I turned her over down by Knockinall. My brand new tractor in scrap was made, and not one green pound on her was paid. Then my ancient father, he says to me, here comes your man from the SCC. As I was walking down Georgia Street, my own first cousin I chanced to meet. My own first cousin did me betray for 20 bells of last year's pay. I tried a new bank down on the Cape for to get some money and to pay my way. But the manager said with a big broad grin, you'll get nothing here for the stage you're in. I rushed back home for to get my coat and to hit Rochford and to catch the boat. But I was arrested and to my grief taken up before Lannigan O'Keefe. The judge he sent me to Old Mount Joy, and I tell you now, be you man or boy, that up until my dying day, from the Jew man's money I will stay away.
Underneath an Indian star, was a dark-eyed little maiden on the coast of Maloney. In the harbour where we anchored, I can see her shy and sweet, with the locust on her bosom, and the wild waves at her feet, and the wild waves at her feet. Come to me, I hear you calling. Come to me, my Indian star. Come to me again and love me on the coast of Malabar. Oh, the happy days we rambled 'neath the palm trees green and tall, and the starry night she danced with me inside the city hall. I can see her little wistful eyes as she pointed o'er the bay and whispered, if you love me, why do you sail away? Why do you sail away? I must go, my little dark eyes. I must go, my Indian star. But I'll come again and love you on the coast of Malabar. In my dreams I seem to wander to a far-off eastern sea, and the times we spend together come back again to me. I can see her little wistful eyes as she pointed o'er the bay and whispered, if you love me, why do you sail away? Why do you sail away? I must go, my little dark eyes. I must go, my Indian star. But in my heart you'll live forever, sweet maid of Malabar.
Applaud by Jimmy Young. I was born and reared in Sandy Road, a loyal orange cross. I stood for good King William, that noble man of God. My motto, no surrender. My flag, the Union Jack. And every 12th I proudly marched to Finnehy and back. A loyal son of Ulster, a true blue, that was me. Prepared to fight, prepared to die for faith and liberty. And as well as that, a Linfield man, as long as I could mind, and I had no time for Catholics or any of that kind. And then one night in Bangor, I met wee Rosie Green. The minute I laid eyes on her, I knew she was McQueen. And when I saw she fancied me, my mind was in a buzz, and I clean forgot to ask her what her religion was. Next time we met, I told her, I'm a Protestant through and through. And said she, I'm a Catholic, just as staunch as you. The words were harsh and bitter, but suddenly like this, the centuries of hatred were forgotten in a kiss. I knew our love would only bring us trouble and distress, but nothing on this world would make me love wee Rosie less. I saved a bit of money as quickly as I could, and I asked her if she'd marry me, and because she said she would. Then the trouble really started. Her folks went raving mad, and when mine heard about it, sure they were twice as bad. My father swore from that day on he'd hang his head in shame, and by a strange coincidence, her father said the same. My mother cried her eyes out and said I'd rue the day that I let a papist hussy steal my loyal heart away. And Rosie's mother said when she recovered from the blow, that she'd sooner have the devil than the man from Sandy Road. We were married in a little papers church the other side of town. That's how Rosie wanted it, and I couldn't let her down. But the priest was very nice to me and made me feel at home. I think he rather pitied us. Our families didn't come. The rooms we went to live in had nothing but the walls. It was far away from Sandy Road and further from the falls. But that's the way we wanted it, for both of us knew well that back among the crowd we knew our lives would just be hell. That life out there for Rosie was lonesome, I well knew. And of course we had our wee religious differences too. At dinner time on Friday, when Rosie gave me fish, I looked at it and then at her and said, "Dawn's not my dish." I mind right well what she said to me. "You've got to pay some price. And to eat no meat on Friday, it's a poor wee sacrifice to make for Christ, who died for us one Friday long ago." Anyway, I ate the fish and it wasn't bad, you know. On Sunday morning I lay on when she got up at 8. So Rosie turned to me and said, "Get up or you'll be late. You've got a church to go to and there's where you should be. So up you get this minute. You'll be part of the road with me." We left the house together. We parted down the line. And she went off to her church and I went off to mine. But all throughout the service, although we were apart, I felt that we were worshipping together in our hearts. And so the weeks and months went quickly by, and then there came the day when Rosie up and told me that a child was on the way. We both went down upon our knees that day and asked the Lord above to give our child 2 gifts alone, tolerance and love. We wrote to tell our families. I never used to call. We thought the news might soften them, and so it did in all. First my mother and then Rosie's wrote to say that Colin turned, and we marvelled at the power of a wee child not yet born. But I was disillusioned when I found out why they came. It wasn't to be friendly or to make it up again. Rosie's mother called to say the child must be RC, while mine said it'd have to be a Protestant like me. The hours before the wedding were surely meek and mild, compared with all the rumpus that was raised about the child. And for both sides of the families, insults and threats were hurled. Oh, what a way to welcome a wee angel to the world. The child must be a Catholic. The child must be a prod. But the last and loudest voice I heard was the mighty voice of God. And to his awful wisdom I had to bow my head. An hour after it was born, our poor wee child was dead. I sat that night by Rosie's side, and just before the dawn, I kissed her as she left me to join her angel son. And my loyal heart was broken within their lonely walls. Where the hell's the shank of it, or where the hell's the falls? But that was many years ago, long years of grief and pain, when I'd gladly given all I had just to see her face again. But the loneliness is over now. I see her soon, I know. The doctor told me yesterday that I haven't long to go. And when I go up yonder, they'll let me in, I hope. But if they ask me who I'm for, King Billy or the Pope, I'm going to take no chances. I'll tell them straight and fair, I'm a loyal Ulster Protestant that loved the Papish Church. And one way or another I know they'll let me through. And Rosie will be waiting there, and our little angel too. And then the child will lead us, the Papist and the prod, up the steps together into the arms of God.
Hunter's Hall at the Bowery, at a table was seated one night. A group of young soldiers were routing, they all came so merry and bright. At the very next table was seated a lass who'd fallen to shame, and the soldiers they laughed at her downfall till they heard an old-timer exclaim, "She's more to be pitied and laughed at, she's more to be helped than despised. She was only a lass who'd ventured away from her own fireside." At the old village church round the corner, a crowd had gathered one day at a grave that had newly been opened, and in it the poor lassie lay. Was the same lass we met at the Bowery. She died of her shame and downfall. Did a clergyman laugh? Oh, well, I don't think, as we heard him softly recall. She's more to be pitied than laughed. She's more to be helped than despised. She was only a lass who'd venture away from her own fireside. Don't scorn her with words that will hurt her. Don't laugh at her shame and downfall. For it was only a moment considered, and the man was the cause of it all.
John Copley, take a fond farewell. Green Hill, Lord, is Slaney, old wine mill where our heroes fell. Farewell, town of Wexford, our capital to freedom's stride. On the bridge o'er wide waters, at morning I lay down my life. Farewell, stout, farewell, faithful Gory, good Scarwell's bright Ballygow, whose sons first that honored uplifted high our flag of green. God foster your manhood from the Bann to Blackwater shore. Farewell, bright Ballygow, through Bridie the Macklemore. Farewell, bold Shelmalier, whose trusty guns laid tyrants low. Ye ne'er knew dishonour, you never quailed before the foe. How brave was your bearing at the Three Rocks and Roche's walls. Farewell, bold Shelmalier, you'll fight again when Ireland calls. Farewell, stout Byrne, one wild Bantry whose deeds were graced by Barrow and Barrow to the 3 bullets and bloody gates. O souls robed in honour, fearless brethren in valour's fight, more grand be your story when again you raise the hand of right. Farewell, Fort and Bargy, from the Tusker to Bannow sands, who still fight unvanquished afar in Meath's green grassy land. Ye sons of long fighters, may victory yet crown your word. Farewell, Barney Bargy, and Ballytake that gives me birth.
Dermot,